All right, Matt, how are you?
Nicholas, nice to see you today. Happy Friday as usual.
Happy Friday, happy Friday. I'm excited about today. I don't know, like, I think it's a good Friday. I'm a lot of positive attitude. I think I know why I'm so excited. I just had a meeting with Brazil, and I think speaking Portuguese always make me smile and make me, full of energy. And so I don't know. I just felt that maybe that's why I'm so excited today.
Is that right? Well, you know what, Nicholas, you do bring the international flair to our show. I don't know if you would know this, but are we popular? I know we're obviously popular here in the U.S. What other countries have you gotten feedback about our little podcast from?
I actually, it's funny you said it. I was looking at the stat. So I'm a really bad marketer. Don't look at this, but then I did look at the stat this week actually, and our number two country, in your point of view, where is our number two country in terms of listening?
It's a great question.
Yeah,
Um, well, you're not going to say China, so
yeah.
what is the number two country?
So the number two country, to your surprise, was Australia. So to the Australian listener, first of all, welcome. I don't know what time you're listening to us, but hey, we're pleasure to have you. Please drop a comment in the chat. We would love to know where in Australia you're listening to us. But thank you, Australia. We love you all. And Matt, I think on those words, we should get started, don't you think?
Excellent, excellent.
All right, everybody. This is Nico with eStreamly, the company that gets your live stream and video commerce on your site, social media, email, SMS, wherever your content is, it becomes shoppable. So excited to be here with Matt, my great friend from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. And today we have some interesting story around video, live stream, shoppable video, AI, everything around this. Matt, before we go there, why don't you tell us what the show is about?
Thank you, Nicholas, and thank you everyone for listening or watching us on one of these links like LinkedIn or Facebook. We are the VCommerce podcast show. What is VCommerce? It's video commerce. That's the platform that graduated from direct response television into QVC, HSN, and other live shopping TV channels. And now video commerce is found everywhere. It's on your phone, it's on your apps, it's on your computers everywhere. We talk about live streaming, live selling on this channel, not just TikTok Shop, not just Flipkart or any other platform, but we talk about it all. Normally focus on two or three of the hot topics of the week. And Nicholas, we've been talking about Shopify over, every month we seem to find a story about Shopify, but this week a really interesting story came out that you flagged early, like on Wednesday, I think, about ChatGPT and what Shopify is planning to do with that AI.
Yeah. So ChatGPT, as everyone knows it, is this wonderful app where you can ask pretty much everything from how do you survive through a marital conflict to like how do you shop for the next beauty product that you're looking for. It's this wonderful tool. But what they have about 700 something million users, right? So it's a
A
very
week, 700 million a week.
700 million a week. So amazing pool of users. But what's super interesting with this is that when what's been happening is that Shopify has been having a partnership with ChatGPT to enable instant checkout within the page. So you can view a product, engage, and now you can actually do the whole checkout directly on the platform. And so obviously a lot of people have been talking about this. It's been a real big topic for everything e-com this week. But what I felt was super interesting, specifically, was this article that was made by this gentleman, and I have to go back to my note exactly to remind, and I'll put the article in the note of the show notes. But what the person was saying is that if you look at the bigger scheme of things, what that opportunity it gives for merchant with that Shopify integration is not so much about being the Amazon competitor or anything. So that person was estimating that from the get-go, probably what's going to happen is about that platform will probably generate $1 billion in revenue from just having that because of the scale and everything. And so it's a very small dent compared to the Amazon behemoth. But what Amazon was known for was for organic traffic. And with organic traffic, Amazon, you could go create, but now there's so much competition on the Amazon that everyone is paying to be seen on Amazon. So organic traffic is dead on Amazon. And what that person was saying is that opportunity of product, a chat with context is giving a merchant this opportunity to get back into that organic play. And I thought that was super interesting to think about this. It's a very interesting perspective. No, I don't think e-commerce is dead, or having your own Shopify is dead, or having your own e-com is dead. I'm not a believer in that. I think there was a lot of rumors, speculation. Everyone was talking about that AI was going to take over. I think the real thing is really this opportunity that, hey, you can engage with the chatbot, converse with them, and then it will drive organic. And in fact, Matt, if we look a little deeper at a story that was reported by our friend Paul at Shopify, and he was right up front on this, was saying the referral click for Walmart, ChatGPT represents 20% in August. Crazy. It says it drives more than 20% of traffic for Etsy, 15% for Target, and over 10% for eBay. So it is really becoming this organic tool, and I think it's pretty exciting for brand and retail and merchant.
Well, as you said, 700 million active weekly users, weekly users use ChatGPT. Checkout features are changing on ChatGPT. 75.6 million product-related conversations are happening on ChatGPT. I feel like ChatGPT just started, and I know they didn't just start, but like they're becoming a serious player. We've talked about it for months now that they're threatening Google in just search. And how big is search related to shopping? And so Amazon, the article that you're referencing that I was looking at, Amazon sellers paid over 56 billion in advertising through their platform in 2024. Amazon sellers paid over 56 billion in advertising in 2024. Are they going to do that in 25 and moving forward? Are they going to start equating the ChatGPT to the primary search engine for what they do? So now Shopify is getting involved in it, and the conversation queries versus Google are much more organic. They're conversational rather than keyboard. What's Google? They mentioned keyboard matching. So you have to type something into Google. In Shopify, it's more of the conversation of the keywords that you're using. It's a different format, a different, better, and a more efficient way to discover product and brands. And it's really amazing.
And it's funny because this guy was like, he kind of estimated at the moment that the checkout will be enabled within the ChatGPT. What are we looking at in terms of, say, transaction, right? And they, based on all so this guy is like back of the envelope calculation, right? So you got 700 million active users, 75 million product related conversation per week. So that's based on that. So it says, well, most likely it's going to be 4 billion annual product queries. And if you apply a 1% conversion rate with an average order value of $70, annual GMV 2.73 billion. Overnight, boom. There you go.
Yeah, overnight. That's what it seems like.
Crazy.
I know. How do you equate that? So you have to be involved in this. I mean, the AI is part of the conversation.
Yeah, I just love this. I think it's a cool move, and obviously, ChatGPT is becoming this. I mean, all those chatbots are really becoming a big referral solution. So it's super interesting. I mean, let's not talk too much about this. You came up with some other stories, Matt, that you wanted to chat about today.
No, yeah, I was made me happy because we've talked about this over the year, and this year, as far as consumer confidence, has been hot and cold. First quarter and second quarter, it doesn't seem to be like people were confident in shopping and confident in what the GMV will be at the end of the year. All the political turmoil that's happened in the first 9 months of the year. The article that we found is Q4 confidence is going up. And now that, today is October 3rd, 2025, technically or theoretically, the fourth quarter started 2 days ago. October 1st in my world is fourth quarter. So things are getting more serious. We're talking about shopping now on QVC and HSN. I'm sorry. We're talking about gift giving on QVC and HSN. A lot of the conversations now in retail, it's all talking about consumer shoppers and gifting and all that kind of thing.
The report you are talking about is from Saks that indicate that 56% of U.S. luxury consumer plan to maintain or increase their spending over the last 3 months. And that's what's interesting is up from 47% in April. And that really renewed that confidence in the higher end of the market, right? So we're talking about luxury market, luxury consumer, they have a higher spending. But it does reflect a reality on the market, because if you think of it in April, again, not just in luxury, but broadly speaking, 28% had a positive impact on the economy, and which is not higher now. Now, I think it's still to be watched, right? I think there are some, I think a lot of people are talking about the reduction of the interest rate and all those sort of things. And so the confidence is there. But I do think that the only thing that we still need to watch out is that how is payroll going on? Like, are people getting laid off, or is those laid off out of the way and now we're back to a better place? I think this is the indication, in my point of view, that we will all be watching for the next couple of months, couple of weeks at least. But it sounds like the economy is starting to picking up a little bit, and I think it's pretty exciting. And
to reference that, Nicholas, October 7th and 8th, which is next week, are Amazon Prime days. So that's usually a big indicator of how the next 3 months will go. So I think we'll learn a lot from those 48 hours from Amazon Prime. Everything is dictated seemingly online sales through Amazon Prime events. So we'll see where they're shopping. If they're shopping in October on Amazon, it's going to be a good indicator for the rest of the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Speaking of shopping, a small shout out to PalmStreet, the live shopping app that Sarah Plant and has been diversifying, received some funding earlier in the year, and they have been crossing 3 million order milestone, which is pretty good. They had some, following record-breaking plant sale of 26,000, 16,000, and 10,000 in recent weeks. So, we're talking plant, right? Things that people are selling for $5 or $10, so it's big numbers if you think from that perspective. But 3 million orders milestone is pretty exciting for that platform.
And one of your articles, Nicholas, in your newsletter this week, talked about how sewing is becoming big in video commerce, and it sounds like who's into sewing in 2025. But many people are, and Reddit is doing a big business on their platform through sewing. Sewing and live plants is an educational thing for me with video commerce. It's learning, it's teaching, it's explaining, it's showing. It's a great visual platform. Education. It goes back to the education thing. Sewing or any kind of crafting, any kind of plant thing where you look, what's that plant? How long is it going to grow? Can I keep it alive? All those things. Education is a big dynamic, a big part of live e-commerce.
When I wrote this newsletter, what I thought was very interesting with the sewing specifically is, if you look at the category, it's been a category that has been embracing video very early compared to many other brands, right? And in fact, if you look at that the sewing category has been if you go to YouTube, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of content about sewing, but the content has always been very polished, very planned out, hours of stream, like a real show, way more elaborated than the one we're doing together. And what I think is interesting is that those shows are run by people that are typically in the older age, frankly, in the 50s and over. And in reality, what I've seen lately is that you've got this community that is trying to embrace technology and trying to say, hey, how do we get into those different platforms? How do we do different format? How do we go into short form video? How do we make those shoppable videos? I think it's super interesting to see those dynamics going on with the sewing industry, which is trying to modernize their whole aspect and their whole dynamic. And that coincides with what's happening in the market where, because of the economy and some other numbers, Gen Z and are trying to go after second-hand product and trying to learn to do that themselves. And so there's a good match between this content and the sewing community, and they're all pairing together. But those newer consumer want newer experience of shopping, and I just found this super exciting and interesting too.
It is interesting. Like, is it the older consumers coming into technology, or is it the younger consumers getting interested in something that their grandmothers probably did, or that's the only experience they have through an older generation? So if both generations are converging through live commerce, the ideal, right? It's the ideal situation.
Yeah. Well, and while we're there, shout out to Nico Farah and Ao Sa that are also listening on the to this pod and saying hi. So hi to you guys. Matt, why don't we get into the next story? We're talking about Gen Z. We're talking about video. Have you seen the really interesting thing that's going on in the AI space with the addition of Meta that created a whole TikTok environment like the Meta AI, where creator, like you can actually claim your Matt Hodlofski handle or your E6 marketing handle and start posting AI video, and people will comment very much like it's super amazing. Like people like it, great, like they made the comment. This is a real TikTok like experience, and people are coming from all over the world. Like you see on this one, like people are talking in Arabic and wonderful. Like the comment is real. I don't know, it's purely AI TikTok like experience. So is AI going to take over TikTok?
You just I hadn't thought of that, but this is so. I could see me being totally swept away for an hour watching this AI content. It is amazing. It's amazing.
But can you? So the question is, can you? I think everyone can be swept away for an hour, but can you be swept away for not an hour, but like hundreds of hours over your lifetime, right? Because are you doing another one and say, oh, it's cool, and then you move on, or is it something that makes you come back? I think that's what's super interesting. I would love to see the retention of those users and are people coming back, engaging, creating content themselves. That I think is super interesting, and then we can look at monetization and all that stuff. But I just found it super fascinating, and it's only AI. You can't generate anything else than AI video on that platform. So,
well, isn't AI going to develop? Every day AI develops, gets better and better and better. Some of this video, I'm calling it video. Some of this artificial intelligence is amazing. It looks like pure video. It's really crazy. Again, like TikTok just sucks you in. I can see this platform gaining millions and millions of followers.
And look, someone is trying to make a dent into shopping. Looks like this one.
Nicolas, well, we talk a lot about your e-com sites and like what e-com does, and we used to talk about how your e-com site is your platform into all these other sites. So you have to have kind of a baseline of your e-com page or your home website, and then that you could spring off of. We talked to someone this past week that you're going to post a video of on Tuesday that doesn't look at her own website as the starter for her customer experience. She goes out and brings them in through all kinds of live streaming apps. It was a fascinating conversation.
This is, well, Nico, when she came on stage, Nico Farah, when she came on stage, she said, well, the gaming is the future of commerce. And I was like, oh, maybe I agree with that, but I still believe that live streaming is the future. And I think the person you're talking to, she's from Circe Boutique. And I think this is really where the future, Luna, her name is really the future. She is a streamer first. 95% of her sales are through live streaming. She has a website, but the website is really like the place where people that are just coming. So it's a pure catalog. So it's real, like the pure digital catalog. So you go, you see a product, you purchase. But her intention is not to drive you to the site unless you want to purchase at a specific moment. She wants you to be on social. She wants you to be on their live stream. She wants you to chat with her, see the product. She has a store within a store. And I don't know, it's fascinating conversation. The little hint I will say is like her live stream, she sell over 400 to 600 different SKUs, right? SKUs. We're talking about a real retailer selling at scale. Fascinating conversation. 95% live stream. Yeah.
It was cool.
Don't have any of these other things, just live streaming and a place where they can have a checkout period. And
she's got retail space, but she doesn't, she uses it more of a studio than anything else.
You can't actually, in fact, you can't actually go there unless you're invited, right? So it's a studio that looks like a retail space. Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Anyway. We just touched on her story. I mean, it's really cool. So you're downloading it on Tuesday, right? This is coming Tuesday.
Tuesday, streaming on the pod, the Live E-commerce podcast. So it will be on Spotify. We'll put it on YouTube as well, and then obviously on Apple or whatever podcast player you're listening. I think it will be 45-minute conversation. Really, really, really cool. You will not want to miss this. Well, Matt, ready for the weekend?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Weather's great. There's playoff baseball in the air, Nicholas. Football. It's going to, and I'm going to a wedding, which is always fun. So it's going to be a fun weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Got to finish out this week strong, but the weekend's going to be amazing.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Thanks Nico, Laura, and Ayosa for being here. We love you all. And we are here every Friday at 11 a.m. on Eastern on your favorite LinkedIn profile, Extremely. And you can also find us obviously on YouTube, any podcast. Feel free to post and comment, tell us. And if you want to come on the show, just let us know. You have to bring value though, so bring something interesting for the space. And if you're one of those persons, we would love to have you. Bye everyone.
Bye-bye.